Hello, it is Thursday, December 2nd, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Thursday puzzle. The first tricky puzzle of the week, as I often think of it, could be some kind of ambitious theme, could even be a rebus, who knows. But I'm looking forward to solving it. I hope you are as well. It's also very much a new month. It's the second day of a new month, and so if you've been thinking of checking out the Patreon campaign in the new month of December, then head over to patreon.com/dailysolve, where you can directly support this channel and in return get a wealth of bonus crossword solve videos, as well as additional access to the Discord chat server, the rest of which is free for anyone to join. So do consider that as well, regardless of your Patreon status. And depending on the tier at which you back, you could also be entitled to a mug, a Let's Check the Crosses mug. And I got my notification from Patreon today that I, who back my own campaign in order to receive this mug, will be getting it in the coming days. So I'm very excited about that. And I'll show you on video when I get it. And anyway, there are other things on there. Go check it out. And the new Twitter account, @TheDailySolve. You can follow that as well for daily updates. So let's, before we solve today's puzzle, let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's. Halcyon confirms my recollection that Mir, the name of the space station in Russian, means both peace and world. And this person says, and what's worse, since there's only one syllable, you can't have a different emphasis to differentiate the meaning, like you would with Zamak, castle, and Zamak, key. I apologize if I'm saying that quite incorrectly. I'm sure I am. And obvious nonsense points out something fairly obvious, true to this person's name. It's something fairly obvious that I entirely glossed over, which is that the reason it was described in a clue as oddly enough that Athos, one of the three musketeers, never performed musketry is that, as you mentioned, this commenter writes, he's one of the three musketeers. So I did not draw that connection between musketeering and musketry. So there we go. Katie K believes that she heard that the PWN, as an alternative spelling for own, was just fat fingering the keyboard. But she says she learned it to mean powerfully own, which I prefer. Either way, I thought this was a weird one. Yeah, Katie, I agree. It was slightly odd to be in this crossword. And Ben Ward actually echoes that it believes it to simply be a misspelling. But there were other people who also said powerful own or powerfully own. So it's just one of those things. I suppose there's no definite etymology with the sort of internet slang of that kind. Chris Livornia pulls me up on this, says, you're being a bit harsh about the theme. It probably took a lot of creativity to come up with. And that's true. I keep reading this comment and feeling a little bad about my criticism of the Jane Eyre usage in one of the theme answers yesterday. So maybe I should retract that. Anyway, I think that was it. I think that was all I had from yesterday's. So let's get right on to today's puzzle. This is, of course, a Thursday crossword, as noted, by Rebecca Goldstein, and edited, as always, by Will Shorts. And I looked up this constructor on Twitter. I'm going to try and remember to get in the habit of doing that before I record these videos, because I learned from her tweet about this puzzle that it is her debut crossword. And I don't remember her name. Not that I have a sort of catalog in my memory of every New York Times constructor. But anyway, she did say this is her debut. So that's fun. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to what kind of wacky theme. I suspect there must be some kind of particularly ambitious theme, because I think I suspect it's harder to get into the New York Times crossword with a debut puzzle. I think it's easier once you've been published before and they sort of know your track record. So I wonder if this is a particularly noteworthy puzzle in some way. Anyway, we're going to find out. I'm going to get started. Thwack. Could be sock, hit something. I mean, it could be any number of things, I think. Bow ties, e.g., bow ties, for example. I don't know, menswear. That could be a rebus, I guess. Men's or wear, and then the other of the two in a rebus. Australia once. Colony, colonial. I don't know. Every last one could be all, I suppose. A West Coast air hub for short could be LAX or SFO. Los Angeles International Airport or San Francisco International Airport. SFO looks more likely with if all is correct to me. LX would be sort of odd. Does that help at all here? Bow ties, e.g. Well, it doesn't look like menswear, does it? Oh, pasta. Yes, bow ties, what is it? Farfalle, I think, are bow ties. Could be misremembering that. But it's the type of pasta that looks like a little bow tie. And, all right, what do we have here? First, X or O. I suppose would be the tick in tic-tac-toe. Is it the case that the three X's or O's are in fact the tic-tac-toe, or is that, wonder if that's been sort of retroactively applied? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe that is the case. Puckish could be elfin, as in Puck, the sort of trickster god, I suppose. Elfin, fey. Tarsal adornment. Tarsal adornment. Is that some kind of toe ring or something? Why am I not seeing it? Circadian rhythm regulator. So your circadian rhythm is essentially your internal sleep schedule, I suppose. So something clock, I would think. Sleep clock, maybe? That doesn't sound really like anything. What was this again? Australia once. Peck. I don't know. And here, let's see. Like chocolate mousse could be rich. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but it could be that. And here we have in Hindu honorific, could be Shri, SRI. And success could be win. You could say, it wouldn't be a verb, but you could say, that was a great success, that was a great win. One might be tough to follow. You might have a tough act to follow. And here we have a historic Bay Area neighborhood with a 600 square foot rainbow flag. This is the Castro in San Francisco, the centerpiece of which is Castro Street, hence the name. And classic San Francisco neighborhood and home of the beautiful Castro Theater, right at the top of Castro Street. Circadian, internal clock. So this could be a rebus. It could be RNAL, but what is that? I suppose, actually, no, it could be there. So it could be internalc. That doesn't look right either. Could be could go like this. Could sort of curve around. Is there something else this could be that isn't internal clock? Boy, it really seems like it is, doesn't it? Interior clock? What is this? Tech executive for short. Well, the fact that it's a tech executive specifically suggests chief technology officer. That's sort of surprising, though, because the T in CTO is tech for technology. Well, it's technology, which can be referred to as tech, and usually you wouldn't get that kind of repetition even by way of abbreviations. At least I wouldn't think so. But the fact that it's a tech executive for short, maybe it's CIO, Chief Innovation Officer. That's the kind of goofy title that tech companies use. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? It probably is. So here's a case where it was helpful to understand. Well, okay, assuming this is correct, which I think it is, but it might not be. But let's say for the sake of this explanation right this moment, that CIO is correct. That's a case in which knowing the crossword conventions, knowing that you aren't going to get repetition, or at least typically don't get repetition between the clue and the answer, is going to help you out, because CTO, I think, is the most obvious fill here, Chief Technology Officer, but I just don't think it is. because of that convention of not repeating things between the clue and the answer. So I think, and again, when I'm trying to think of executives, C-suite executives specific to the tech industry, or at least disproportionately found in the tech industry, I have heard of chief innovation officers, and that sounds like the kind of thing that would be in the tech industry. Anyway, everything I said could be moot if this isn't the answer, but the reason I think it probably is because a narrow inlet, I think, is a RIA. I think, in a body of water, a narrow inlet in a body of water. So this would be NAL. Oops. Oh, I see. Okay, it is that. I think I mistyped my rebuses before. I think I was maybe putting 4 letters into them. I'm sorry if you were yelling at me about that. So this looks like penal colony. Oh no, it is 4. It needs the C from clock. Oh, it was 4. Okay, I did have it right before. Penal colony. So what is that? NALC? Is that a chemical symbol? Sodium something? Clan backwards? Maybe it's clan backwards. Yeah. We'll keep a lookout for NALC or clan showing up elsewhere in the puzzle, I suppose. All right. A dollar alternative. It could be a euro, maybe. I don't know. Let's check the crosses. Violin family name. I don't think it is euro. Because this is probably, I think, Amati. It's a famous violin making family. The other one being Stradivarius. Lunar plane. A mesa, maybe? No, it's not really a plane, is it? I don't know. The lunar plane, the moon? I assume it means a plane on the moon. Let's keep looking. Heaps could be a lot or a ton. Each of those starts with an A and has an O in the third position. 1996 for Alanis Morissette. Ironic? Was that the name of the song itself? Ironic? Oh, lunar plane. Mare. Yes, I think Mare from the same route that leads to Mare or Mar being sea in French or Spanish, for instance. And I think they're called that sort of metaphorically because they're like these big seas, even though they're not, even though they aren't filled with water. I think that's correct. Okay. Housemate. And there's a question mark. So there's something with a bit of a pun or wordplay going on. I'm not sure what it is. And here we have papal collection overseen by a bibliothecarius. Vatican Library, I would bet. Biblio, book, library. Oh, and Vatican Library contains those same 4 letters again. So if I put can L here, so we're anagramming those letters, putting them in a different order. Vatican Library. Yeah, there we go. So what does that mean? It looks like clan. I can't think of anything else any other standard word you'd make with these letters. Here we have high school course that might have a unit on the Harlem Renaissance. African Lit, African literature. Wait, what did I do wrong? I mean, it would be African American lit, though, right? I mean, it wouldn't be African lit specifically. The Harlem Renaissance is in the U.S. I mean, Harlem is in New York. The Harlem Renaissance, famous period, African American culture. But what is there another rebus in here? I mean, it could be American lit. Okay, sorry. I was so focused on the rebuses that I was trying to find a way to, instead of just thinking of an alternative plausible phrase, I was trying to think of another way to use a rebus again. Not correct at all. It's American lit. Okay, there we go. So what is this? Oh, a tarsal adornment, anklet. What is your tarsus? So I guess, is it in fact your ankle or your foot more general? I can't remember what particular bone or bones that refers to. Someone will tell me now that I've mentioned it. Labor leader Dolores Huerta or astronaut Ellen Ochoa. Latina, I would think. And remember, this is an or, so it's not going to be plural. It's going to be just one of the two. Obviously we have two examples here, but we're only referring to one of them because it's an or. So heaps is confirmed as a ton. And then what is this? Dollar is a rental car company, actually. So Avis, I think, is another rental car company, not the currency. And then here we have housemate, Senate? Would have thought housemate would be senator. So what is make definite informally, ICE. Is that something? Ink, I would have thought that to be. Make definite informally. Maybe that's slang I just don't know. Don't really understand housemate, Senate. Housemate. Oh, I see. Okay, I do see. Sorry, I apologize. I'm sorry. I keep missing obvious things today. This is the mate of the House of Representatives, of course. And the corresponding body to the House of Representatives is the Senate in the U.S. legislature. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's move on. Basis of some insurance fraud could be arson. You could light your own house on fire and try to collect an insurance claim. Place to hang a mezuzah is a door. That's the thing you nail into a door at a Jewish residence, I think. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, Representative Bowman, the first male member of the squad. Maybe I have something wrong here. This doesn't look great, this AAL. Let's keep checking some crosses. Is it sash, not door? Oh, no, but this is Jamal, right? That would make that work correctly. So this would be, jam, a door jam, the jam of a door. Okay, there we go. So all good. That would be a tough cross, I think, potentially. If you didn't know what a mezuzah is and you didn't know Jamal Bowman, that would be pretty tough. All right, bestie in Bordeaux. Could be ami. This would be the female form of friend in French. Wouldn't necessarily be your bestie, though. That's just a friend. So I wonder if there's something about that. There's another word that I'm not. Singer Amos. And here we have mojito ingredient. It's mint. Haven't had a mojito in ages. Largest French-speaking city in North America. Montreal, Quebec. Not sure what's going on there. Let's keep checking crosses. Does dirty could be betrays. You do someone dirty, you betray them. A scepter topper could be an orb on the top of a monarch's scepter. Rejections could be nays, maybe. Let's check the crosses on that. Not very confident. Consumed, no, it's not. Consumed could be 8. So it could be nays spelled this way, N-A-E. Yeah, could be. Let's keep looking. Mendelssohn work in E-flat major and others. Well, I would not have known this without the crosses, but with the crosses, it looks like octets, doesn't it? And a German physician who coined the term animal magnetism. I don't know offhand. Let's keep checking some crosses. Vouch for in a way. And this for in parentheses mean we're going to add for to the answer as well. And that will make it a bit better of a match. And we also have in a way, which means these aren't synonyms, but it's sort of, in a way you could say it's that thing. But I'm not immediately seeing it, unfortunately. Shore could be, I don't know, okay or something. Here we have use a 56 across, and 56 across is a boat propeller. So I bet this is or, and to use it is to row. And then still up, say, could be awake. And what is this? Ticks off could be a noise. Let's check crosses on that. Vouch for in a way. Cash in? As in a voucher, as opposed, I was thinking of, as I think we're intended probably to initially think, I was thinking vouch for someone as speak on someone's behalf, but it might be vouch as in cash something in, a voucher. So ticks off. Does that work here? What about with this H? Sure. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just delete all of this for now and look elsewhere. Come back to it with some crosses. Word before oil or water. And I just realized I haven't seen any more of these rebuses yet. We have 2. It looks like there might be 2 more, possibly 5 more if there's one in the sort of central region of the grid. Let's keep looking around. Something that's impossible to run by yourself. A relay race, I suppose. Requires at least 2 people, I would think. And, mineral oil and mineral water. Those are both phrases. All right. Peak. Oh, I think this exact cross came up the other day. Peak with, could be Acme. Oh no, maybe it was something else and maybe peak was one of the answers I thought it might be. Anyway, could be Acme or Apex. Could be either of those. They each start with A. So let's see if the cross is delicate textile, right? That could be lace. So in this case, it's Acme, which I think is what I tried the other day and that ended up being incorrect. Open arms looks right, and word often confused with fewer is less. Right? At the supermarket, it's in the express lane, it's 8 items or fewer, not 8 items or less, because fewer refers to discretely counted items. You have fewer of something when you have 3 rather than 5. You have less of something when it's a sort of collective quantity. You have less water. You don't have fewer waters. You have less water, but you could have fewer gallons of water. Anyway, agree could be to say yes. Contented sigh could be A-A-H. A pity, really, could be it's so sad with these crosses. And here's our revealer. Of course, exactly where we would predict it to be according to Lyell's law, which is in the southeast of the grid. In fact, even more specifically, very often 3 north from the southern perimeter. And explaining. The revealer explains the theme. It ties it all together. And this says, one of a pair at the dinner table, or a hint to this puzzle's theme. Interesting. I don't... one of a pair at the dinner table. I don't think I know. I'm sorry. Earlier could be air. Or ago, actually. Ago seems more likely, yes. And an ancient Greek marketplace is an agora. And a park place with a question mark. So park place. So I would read this initially, the surface reading, I would read this to mean a park, a place, a public park, a place you go to be outdoors. But I think the question mark is indicating some kind of pun or wordplay, and I think it might mean a car park. Not a sort of nature park. And so it could be a lot, a parking lot, a car park. That's my guess. Let's check the crosses. Copy that. I hear you. Understood. Noted. And L'ora della siesta, maybe. I don't know. Is it nap time? I'm not sure what this is. Sorry. Let's keep looking. Refer to could be cite. You refer to a source. You cite that source. Parent-approved cereal. I think this is Kix. What are Kix? Is it sort of corn puffs, maybe? A checkup, e.g., could be an exam. So a checkup, for example, could be an exam. Stand, band, 1989. That's REM, I believe. And a GPS approximation could be an ETA for an estimated time of arrival. Your GPS system might tell you that. Oh, salt shaker. Oh, it is. Okay, it is. Right. So when I saw NALC right at the beginning of the puzzle, or at the beginning of understanding the theme, it occurred to me that it contains the letters in NaCl, which is what, sodium chloride, I think, or standard table salt. But because of the incorrect order of the letters, I figured, well, maybe it's a different sort of chemical symbol, and that's where I started speaking. I sort of skipped the part about NaCl when I was speaking aloud because it didn't seem relevant. because I didn't yet know we'd be getting other rebuses with the same rearranged letters. And so I thought, well, maybe it's a different chemical symbol that still starts with sodium, Na, and it's just one that I don't know, sodium lithium carbon or something, which I don't, is L lithium? Maybe lithium's Li. Anyway, and I never returned to that train of thought once I got this rearrangement. And I thought, well, the only thing I can see that this spells is clan. But indeed, it spells the very first thing that I thought when I saw this, which is NaCl. And that is salt shaker. It is a shaken up chemical symbol for salt. So there we go. That is how the revealer explains the theme. And I apologize if you got there far before I did and were wondering why I wasn't coming to that conclusion, but that's what it is. And anyway, so I'm going to guess we're going to have at least one more of these. Oh, no, maybe not, because it says one of a pair. So maybe there are only two. But you wouldn't have two salt shakers. I think the one of the pair is the salt shaker and the pepper grinder or shaker. So maybe we will have more of these. Maybe these aren't the pair. Anyway, we'll just have to keep an eye out. A leaf producer. A Nissan Leaf is a car model. So maybe ticks off is a noise, in fact. And then what is this? Oh, maybe not. German physician who coined the term animal magnetism. I don't think I know this. It's not mesmer, is it? That was I don't think that was some sort of magician or something. I don't think that was a physician. Sure. Maybe it is. I don't know. I bet could be sure. Vouch for in a way. Oh, maybe rejections is no's, not nays. That's more of a rejection than nay. And then vouch for, in a way would be cosign. So it isn't vouch as in a voucher. It's vouch for cosign as in a loan or something like that. You could cosign a loan, and therefore, in a way, you'd be vouching for somebody. All right. And so ticks off is angers, not a noise. All right, this is all coming together. So it is mesmer. I guess I misremembered who mesmer was. And then here we have plead, could be beg, and a performance artist portraying male characters. Performance artist portraying male characters. I'm not sure offhand. Oh, I see. A drag king. Got it. I was trying to think of a particular person, and because King is a common surname, I was trying to think of people with the surname King, but no, this is a drag king, a counterpart of the more commonly deployed drag queen. Okay, hopeless case could be a goner. Symbol of Russia could be a bear. Russian bear is often referenced. 2 for 1, an adverb, because it describes. You can use it to modify an adjective. Too busy, for instance. A crossword is too difficult. Difficult is the adjective, and then too modifies it. All right. Presidential nickname could be Abe for Abraham Lincoln. What is this Montreal thing? Could the L be in a rebus? Montreal. Oh, Canada. Montreal, Canada. There we go. All right. We got what I assume is our final salt shaker into the puzzle. And Hawaii is famous for its volcanoes. Pulitzer-winning novelist Jennifer Egan of Visit from the Goon Squad, I think. And like texting during a conversation to some would be considered, I think, to some to be rude. And then that gives us shoe with decorative perforations, brogue. It's those shoes with decorative patterns stamped into the leather. And that's the puzzle. All right, that was great. I wish I would have remembered my initial train of thought about the sodium chloride thing. Is it sodium chloride? I think it is. NaCl. I wish I would have remembered that, because it would have been much less baffled when I got to salt shaker. And indeed, it was the very first thing that popped into my head when I saw NaLC, and I just wish I would have brought it back to mind when I saw the second one. I think once it occurred to me that this could be clan, either backwards or anagrammed, I think I just got distracted by that possibility, and it ended up having absolutely nothing to do with the theme whatsoever. So there we go. That was the puzzle. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was interesting. I think there were a lot of ways into this puzzle that weren't necessarily very difficult. I mean, for a Thursday, but I think especially if you aren't in the habit, if you aren't attuned to looking for rebuses, that could be quite difficult. And I know that I have a very, at times, rebus skeptical audience. So do let me know if you liked this, if you didn't. How did you feel about the rebus, and how did you manage the theme generally? How long did it take you to catch on to what was going on, or at least catch on to enough of what was going on to help you solve it? Because obviously I didn't see what was going on really until I filled 2 rebus cells and then stared at Salt Shaker for a while. It took that, but nonetheless, after getting NALC, I was able to get CANL a little more easily, even though I didn't fully understand what's going on. So I'd be curious to hear about the experiences others had with this. And in general, I thought this to be a pretty fair puzzle. Otherwise, I think Jamal and Jam might be quite a difficult cross. Yeah, there were a few tricky things in here. I mean, bow ties EG as pasta. I don't really know if that's hard or not. It seems like it might be for some. Similarly, SFO, not as famous as LAX if you don't have awareness of it. And Mare and Amati might be quite difficult, actually. Lunar Plane and Violin family name. If you didn't know either of those things, you're not getting much help from the cross. Anyway, yeah, I did enjoy this puzzle. I think it might have some specialized little bits of knowledge that might be tricky for some people, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I did really enjoy it, and I liked the theme, and I did enjoy the sensation of finally understanding what was going on, even though I wish I had spotted it a little earlier. It was fun to eventually unpack. So that was the Thursday puzzle. There we have it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video as well. And if you did, please do subscribe to the channel, and then you will see new videos in this series each day as they are posted to YouTube. And if you know someone who might enjoy this series, do pass it along. You never know. Pass it on to a friend, an enemy, perhaps, if you want to torture somebody with rebuses, or just spread it through your online locale, wherever it is you reside online. And if you would particularly like to support this channel and help this series be a sustainable enterprise for me going forward, head over to the Patreon campaign at patreon.com/dailysolve, where for a few pounds a month or the equivalent in your local currency, you can support the Daily Solve as well as receive access to a wealth of bonus videos and the other things I mentioned at the beginning of this video. But also, if you contribute at the benefactor level, you will be thanked at the end of these videos. And today, I would like to thank Stephen Norrie, as well as always, the inestimable Hood Monster. So thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Hood Monster. I very much appreciate your recurring support. It is a huge help. And thank you to everybody else who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. And thanks to you for watching this video. I hope you'll be back tomorrow for the Friday puzzle, our first themeless puzzle of the week. So a little bit trickier probably when it comes to the cluing, but more straightforward when it comes to getting letters in the grid. There will be one letter per cell, and I know that many of you prefer it that way and think it should be that way every day. But I do like these. I do like a rebus. Okay, I hope you'll be back tomorrow for the Friday puzzle. Until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.